I'm Chris Merrill. He's Joe Huizinga. And we've been discussing the latest. Is this teacher at one of the elementary schools in Chandler Unified. However, the school, Riggs Elementary, is in Gilbert. Her stepson is one of the names being tossed around as one of the Gilbert Goons. By the way, I saw they, in all these charges that they've had, they have a couple of minors who've now been charged as adults. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not using their names, right?
No.
Okay. Even though their names are being listed in other publications and they're being charged as adults, we're not going to name them because, frankly, unless you know them, who cares, right? So here's the deal on this, though, is that basically because one of them, I believe, has the felonious history, and because these are violent crimes, Arizona law says, no, you're participating in some nasty stuff. You're over 15. We're hitting you with big boy charges is what's happening. So now all of a sudden, get ready. You're going to have to figure out which prison gang you want to join.
Oof.
Yeah.
Man. We've got Balin Overstolz, our reporter, who was out at the latest press conference that just wrapped up a few minutes ago. Balin, bullet point for us. What were the 1, 2, 3 biggest takeaways?
Hey guys, I'm right outside the Gilbert Police Headquarters right now, and some of the biggest takeaways, well, one, we did get another update on how many investigations, how many arrests have been made by Gilbert Police. So since February 2022, which is how back some of these cases go, there have been 40 arrests made, 26 of those in 2024, and right now Gilbert Police are sitting on 12 new open investigations. And another big thing of note, 2 of those are new investigations. One of these happened, they believe it could have happened at that In-N-Out, the infamous In-N-Out many of these cases have happened at, around August last year, and another one that happened last summer near Guadalupe Road and Freestone Parkway. Both of these cases, police are asking for the public's help to identify people in videos and pictures that you can find on the Gilbert Town website.
Balin, is there anything else that came out of that? Did we have an opportunity to hear about the principal that's on leave now? Did that come up at all?
It did come up. It came up at the end. I did want to ask more, but what we did find out is when police looked into that case, they identified there was no threat, is what they came up with from that.
No threat as far as, her stepson?
Made by the stepson.
I see. Okay. All right. So...
Wait, can you explain that a little bit more, Balin? What do you mean there was no threat made there?
Yeah.
Again, what we were told at the end of the press conference here was when police looked into that case and they did their investigation, they did not find an actual threat had been made, and that's where the investigation was closed.
Okay. So they're not going to charge him, even though they hinted that they might charge him with robbery?
That specifically, we don't know yet. Maybe, hopefully, at a future press conference, we can dig into that a little deeper.
All right. Your gut on this press conference, did you get what you wanted out of this? Because you said you wanted to ask some more questions. You didn't get those. I feel like, did they cut this off early? Who was running the show on this?
I think it went about how these pressers usually go. They take a fair amount of questions, and then they throw out a 2-question warning. But again, this press conference, the focus was really on those 2 new cases. Those were new to us, so we were asking questions related to who some of these people in them might have been, and specifically when they happened. And the police were really, really forward with asking for the public's help in these cases.
Do you feel like the police are on the ball in terms of these investigations, Balin? You mentioned that there's 12 open investigations here, or do you feel like they are desperate and just fishing for help from the public?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's not something I have the total insight into. And, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And there's a lot of the questions we ask, the response is that will be answered, when that investigation concludes. What I can say is through these press conferences, they have opened new investigations consistently. So there's at least a sense of movement.
Last one for me, Balin, and something that I picked up on a week or 2 ago. Did the Gilbert police chief, did he ever use the word Gilbert Goons or the phrase Gilbert Goons?
The phrase Gilbert Goons has come up in police documents from Gilbert. He's used it in response to questions, but it seems to be their baseline is to avoid using that word, especially because when that does come up, if we ask a question relating to the Gilbert Goons, the answer always circles back to more information will come out when the investigation into if the Gilbert Goons are a criminal gang. When that investigation concludes, you'll have more answers.
And was there any movement on that question? Because that's, I think a lot of us are wondering.
Yeah, I asked. Again, I knew he wouldn't give us that investigation's going on, right? And I knew
Yeah.
that's what he would say. So I tried asking if there's any common factors or commonalities in all these cases that we've seen, and he seemed to indicate there are commonalities. But again, we're not going to know what those are until that investigation wraps up.
All right, Balin Overstolz, part of the crack team at the KTAR newsroom. Balin, great work as always. Thanks for staying on top of this, my friend.
Thanks for watching the Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe, and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.